Jia, after signing the contract, which was a necessary thing for Jin, to allow someone else to live in his apartment. Jia, exhausted from the honeymoon and now from the journey from her home to Jin's apartment, lay down on the floor of the room she had been allotted. Before going to sleep, she buys furniture and other essentials for her new home, ordering online. After knowing that she had nothing else to do as she would unpack her belongings once the furniture arrived, she lays down on the mattress her mother had given her. While lying down, she stares at the walls and ceiling of the apartment and suddenly becomes sad, thinking that from now this is her home. She feels very lonely and gently hugs the blanket. Jia tells herself that she is married and this is her house now, and Jin Minchul, who lives in the next room, is her husband. On the other hand, Jin was comfortably playing games on his gaming console without any stress. While thinking all these things, Jia slowly falls asleep. Due to the fatigue and stress of the whole day, Jia sleeps, snoring loudly like an animal. The next morning, before Jia wakes up, Jin begins preparing breakfast. The sound of chopping vegetables and the whistle of the cooker from the kitchen wakes up Jia from sleep. Scratching her head, walking sleepingly, Jia asks what with the noise so early. Jin replied, "Sorry, I was making breakfast. Did I wake you up?" Jia's eyes light up on hearing about the breakfast and she becomes happy. She asks Jin to cook quickly because she was hungry and excited to see what he is cooking. Jia is impressed to see Jin working and wonders what kind of a man he is who cooks himself before going to work, and she keeps staring at him and blushing. Jin took all the chopped vegetables and put them in the grinder and ground them into a smoothie. While Jia was still blushing thinking about Jin, then he pours this prepared smoothie into a big mug and places it in front of Jia and says, "Jia, this is the chicken breast veggie smoothie for you." Jia sees the smoothie and asks, "What the hell is this?" Jin replies, "This is breakfast." Jia somehow drinks the smoothie with fear and reluctance without saying a word. As she drunk it, Jin asks her about smoothie, but she still doesn't answer. But Jin gives her a protein bar. She can't control her anger and throws it away and says, "What the hell is this? Did you call this breakfast?" Jin politely replied that protein bars and veggie smoothies are the good options for breakfast, and they are also good for the body. Hearing this, Jia shouts aggressively and says, "I know you have cooked and packed all the delicious food for your lunch, which you are going to take to your work." Jin doesn't say anything after this. He quietly opens his lunchbox and shows it to Jia. It contains 200 grams of chicken breast and 200 grams of sweet potato. Just suddenly remembers that when they first met, he was eating chicken breast, and even on holidays, he would only eat chicken breast. But then she again thought that on the contrary, Jin is a human being also, so he must be eating something other than chicken. So to confirm her doubt, she opens the refrigerator to check. She found that there were water bottles on top, then sweet potatoes, some vegetables, and lots of chicken breasts packed packets. Seeing all this, Jia starts feeling dizzy and she slowly lies down on the floor. She apologizes to her mother and thanks her for all the food she has cooked for her so far, and says that if she ever gets a chance to eat food cooked by her in the future, she will never complain. She starts scratching the floor with her fingers and says she will be better daughter from now on. Seeing Jia like this, Jin asks, "Is there really nothing you can eat?" Jia replies politely and sarcastically, "Why wouldn't there be anything? The refrigerator is full of healthy food. I already feel healthier by just looking at it." Jin noticed that Jia was not happy with the breakfast thing. Even though she was hungry, she had not eaten a bite, so he asked her to bring breakfast from outside. Hearing this, Jia gets up and asks, can she go out for breakfast alone? Can she really do that? Jin replied, "What do you mean, of course you can go out and eat? For me, this is all I need to eat, but there is no compulsion for you to eat it. Feel free to eat whatever you want." Jia gets up wondering what she was thinking. Just like her mother who used to force her to have breakfast at home with the family, it has become a sort of habit for her. After eating his breakfast, Jin put on his bag and starts to get ready for the work. Seeing Jin getting ready, Jia asks him what he is getting ready for. Jin replied, he has to go out for work. Jia yawns and says, "Bye, have a nice day." Jin gives her a look. Jia asks him if he doesn't feel jealous of her, that she gets to spend her whole day at home while he has to work outside. Jin denied that there is nothing like that. Jia shouted then, "Why are you giving me that look? Soon I will also find a job for myself. Do you still think I will remain unemployed forever, like I was on the first day when we met." Jin again denied that he did not intend to hurt her feelings in any way. After hearing it, Jia's mood swings. Suddenly she says, "Okay, then have a nice day. Come back soon. See you for the dinner." Jin gets confused by her behavior. He asks if she's sure, if he can leave now. She nodded yes and then smiled sarcastically. As Jin left the apartment, Jia screamed out loud with joy, laughed and said she'll enjoy being unemployed as long as she can. She was happy because she had made up her mind that she would continue enjoying it until her bank account was empty. The scene now shifts to outside of the apartment, where a guy sitting inside his car and adjusting his rearview mirror. Suddenly, someone knocked on his window. He turns and saw Jin standing outside. He greeted him by saying, "It's been a while since I saw you last." The guy's name is Sam, and he is Minxiel's subordinate at work. Jin got into Sam's car, and the two headed to their offices. Sam told Jin that he was really surprised. Before he could finish his sentence, Jin interrupted him and asked what he was surprised about. Sam finishes by saying that he is going to use 10 days of vacation after the holidays. He has already told his boss, so Jin can submit the vacation request form that he has just emailed to him. Sam thanks him because Jin sent some gifts during his holidays and says he is hard to read. Hearing all this, Jin takes a sigh of relief and smiles a little. When Sam saw him smiling, he asked if something happened, as no one had seen him smiling like that. Jin did not reply and kept thinking about Jia, who was waiting for him at home. After being lost in thoughts about Jia for a long time, Jin suddenly says to himself, "It is good that someone is waiting for you at home." Sam replied, "Yes, it is a good feeling," and asked him if someone is waiting for him. Jin replied without thinking, "Yes, my wife is waiting for me." Sam was shocked to hear this, and he suddenly applied the brakes. Car skids. Jin somehow maintains his balance. Sam asked in surprise, "Is he talking about some game?" Then Jin cleared Sam's doubt that he was talking about a real wedding and real wife. Showing his phone, he said, "He got married last week." Suddenly, a girl sitting in the back seat enters the scene and asks who did what to whom. Thanks for watching, and comment the best part of this video.